Welcome to Middle Class Matters Business News in English from Dr. CMA ALAGESAN. The Hindenburg Report on Adani stock manipulation and accounting fraud is read in full. Part number 24. Part 6. Investment banks and professional investors have steered clear of Adani listed companies. Sell-side coverage from major banks and brokers is virtually non-existent in many Adani stocks. Some brokers have quietly expressed concerns about the trading activity in Adani stocks. Except for Adani ports, other listed Adani companies are severely underfollowed relative to peers of similar market capitalization. Adani Company, analysts covering peer Bloomberg. As per Bloomberg, January 23, Indian company with similar market cap, number of analysts covering. Adani Green Energy, 1. Bajaj Finance, 33 analysts are covering. Adani Enterprises, 2 are covering. Larsen and Toubro, 44 analysts are covering. Adani Transmission, 2 people are covering. HCL Technologies, 46 analysts are covering. Adani Total Gas, 1 is covering. ITC, 37 analysts are covering. Adani Ports, 22 people are covering the Adani Ports. Mahindra and Mahindra, 48 analysts are covering. Adani Wilmar, 7 are covering. Dr. Reddy's, 43 analysts are covering. Adani Power, 1 is covering. Britannia, 41 analysts are covering. This is as per Bloomberg analyst coverage with 12-month recommendation and or target price. Not a single domestic active mutual fund manager is willing to own multiple key Adani stocks in significant size. At the end of December 2022, domestic mutual funds had over $180 billion of equity and growth related assets under management. Yet, despite Adani listed companies featuring in domestic and overseas indices, no active local funds owns Adani Green, Adani Enterprises, Adani Total Gas or Adani Transmission above 1% of equity according to shareholding disclosures. Adani Company, domestic mutual fund above 1% of equity comments. Adani Transmission, nobody is owning. 19 mutual funds owning aggregate of 0.13% of equity. Adani Green Energy, nobody is owning more than 1%. 19 mutual funds owning aggregate of 0.12% of equity. Adani Enterprises, nobody is owning more than 1%. 31 mutual funds owning aggregate of 1.19% of equity. Adani Total Gas, nobody is owning more than 1%. 20 mutual funds owning aggregate of 0.13% of equity. Source: December 2022 shareholding patterns. We believe it telling that India's most well-heeled, connected set of participants has consciously chosen to avoid equity of these Adani Group stocks despite their size. Part 7. Adani Group's response to critics. I have a very open mind towards criticism. For me, the message has always been more important than the messenger. I always introspect and try to understand the other's point of view. I am conscious that I am neither perfect nor am I always right. Every criticism gives me an opportunity to improve myself. Gautam Adani interview in India Today. Gautam Adani claims to welcome criticism, embracing it as a personal development opportunity regardless of where it comes from. But despite his claims, Adani Group has a long track record of strong-arming critics into silence through expensive and drawn-out litigation, whether it be YouTubers, journalists, or simply people tweeting in protest. In late 2020, Adani Group wrote a letter to a law minister urging the government to investigate planned negative tweets about environmental issues relating to the Adani Group's Australian coal project. Adani Group called the social media protest a planned attempt to malign the reputation of the prominent business houses through fake news on Twitter, urging several titulari to participate in tweetstorm to systematically wreak havoc. Indian corporates targeted. Adani Group suspects conspiracy. Big news. Government probes conspiracy claims. What dossier shows? How to get started. DM US and we will send you the tweet bank. Hashtags to use. Fund farmers not coal. It wasn't the first time one of the wealthiest men in the world felt threatened by social media posts. Earlier in 2021, Adani Group sought a court order to gag a YouTuber from making critical videos. Gujarat court orders YouTuber to refrain from carrying out reports concerning Adani Group. Earlier, the YouTuber published a video alleging Adani Group was hoarding food grain. Satish Jha, DHNS, Ahmedabad. Adani Group harasses critics and manipulates the courts, leading media watchdogs. The Adani Group started a series of libel actions in 2017, which could see a leading Indian investigative journalist jailed in response to a series of articles about alleged tax evasion by the Adani Group, including the import-export of diamonds and irregularities in the creation of tax-free special economic zones. International media watchdog Reporters Without Borders issued a strong defense of Pranay Guha Thakurta and his work and accused the Adani Group of manipulating the judicial system. Reporters Without Borders RSF calls for the withdrawal of all charges against Pranay Guha Thakurta, a journalist who could be arrested at any time under a warrant issued on 19th January by a court in the state of Gujarat in Western India as a result of a libel action by the industrial giant Adani. The justice system is being manipulated. It is absolutely inconceivable that a journalist is to be arrested for an article published 4 years ago whose accuracy was confirmed by a civil court. Everything suggests that the Adani Group is using the Kutch court to take its harassment of Pranay Thakurta to the extremes of prosecution. Pranay Guha Thakurta, accused of defaming Adani, is facing arrest. Why? A Gujarat court has issued an arrest warrant for the seasoned journalist after suddenly reviving a defamation case filed by the Adani Group over 3 years ago. Earlier, Adani Group attempted to have an environmental protesters home raided in Australia and had a private investigator follow him as he took his 9-year-old daughter to school. Brisbane Times. Adani applied for secret raids on protesters' home before damages claim. In response to a public interest documentary into Adani's affairs by Four Corners, an Australian media channel called Digging into Adani, the Adani Group said it was yet again prepared to pursue strict legal action against opponents of the company. To suggest that we are non-compliant, deviant, or unethical will once again attract defamation and severe legal action. Source: local media. And in August 2021, the Adani Group launched a defamation action against India's Economic Times after the newspaper reported that authorities had frozen the accounts of a handful of Mauritius-based investment funds holding almost exclusively Adani stocks. According to a campaign group, Adani Watch, the journalists in that case were ordered to appear at a remote courthouse in Adani's home state, Gujarat. The tactics employed make it clear that journalists and media houses that publish stories not to the group's liking are being harassed by those in authority. At Hindenburg, we regularly scrutinize companies that try to silence criticism with intimidation. A functioning market requires diverging views and opinions so investors and citizens can make informed decisions. We also believe that companies engaging in bullying practices are vastly more likely to have something to hide. Typically, credible, stable organizations are not threatened by questions, criticisms, or mean tweets. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share as much as possible, give your comments. Thanks for watching.